Something that I have started to notice more and more is that living a happy life is all about balancing conflicting energies. So whether it's a case of striving for more but being content as who you are, you know, making time for yourself, making time for other people, consuming and creating, making plans for the future but living in the moment. There's so many things which kind of, I feel like they pull us in two separate directions, and we know that we need to be committed to both of them, but it's so difficult to properly work out where you should draw that line. And this can be really difficult because you get this kind of grass is always greener idea where, you know, if you find yourself on one side of the balancing act, then you feel like you should be on the other side. And so you have this sort of feeling of guilt that, you know, great, that I'm really happy over here being content with who I am, but maybe I should be striving for more. Maybe I should be more ambitious. And the art of it all isn't about choosing a side or deciding which side best fits with you. It's about walking the line in between them and trying to get the best of both worlds and trying to balance between the two of them. So this idea of balance has been something I've been thinking a lot about lately. And there are a few topics on this whole balancing idea that I want to discuss, but today I really wanted to talk about the idea of self-acceptance and self-love versus the idea of self-improvement, because they do seem to be two conflicting things, and they're things that I've really struggled with in terms of like my relationship with myself. And I've kind of not come up with an answer, but I'm so much better at it now than I have been, and I wanted to share these thoughts with you in case it helped anyone out there. And I think this is a really important concept at the moment, because on social media and online there's just so much about self-acceptance and self-love, but also about hustling and, you know, making money and ambition and getting stuff done. And it's like the world puts equal emphasis on both of these two things, but then having them happen at the same time is so difficult. Like, how are you meant to be content with who you are but strive to be better? So really quickly before we get to that, I just want to talk about my personal relationships with the two sides of these extremes, because there'll be like a period of a few days where I'm just so content and so happy, and I've got everything's nice in my head. It's a very positive relationship that I have with myself, and this usually manifests itself in me treating myself and being kind to myself in a very lenient way. So usually if I am feeling content with myself, I'm a little bit lazy. I sleep in a little bit. I'll eat the cake that I want. I'll not work out because I don't want to work out. I'm a bit of a pushover with myself. So I don't have any discipline, but I'm happy. And I think there's a lot to be said for that. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but I'm saying it's too much on one way. But then there are also times where I am so fueled by the idea that I am not enough, or that I am not everything that I could be, that I am like some sort of hustle robot woman where I'm up early, I'm at the gym, I'm eating well, you know, I'm doing everything that I should be doing, but it's not like I am benefiting in the moment because I am still being very hard on myself in my head. The reason that I'm doing these things is because I'm coming at it from a place of like, I'm not good enough as I am, I'm not good enough as I am, so I need to work harder. When that's too much the other way. So I'm either some sort of self-love slob, or I'm crazy robot woman who was beating herself up all the time because she's not perfect. They are the two versions of Carmen up until recently. But like everything, the key is always balance. It's about finding your own path between these two. It's like they need each other. It's like yin and yang. They're competing energies, but they are complementary energies as well. They need each other. So how exactly do you accept yourself and love yourself and be content with who you are, but also strive to be a better version of yourself? How can these two conflicting ideas come together to create something wonderful? How do you do that? Well, I kind of have an answer. It is one of the rules from 12 Rules for Life, and it is this: treat yourself like somebody who you love, that you have responsibility for. So imagine that you have a child, or if you have a child, just think of that child and think about how the concept of loving them just as they are, and also wanting the best for them, wanting them to be the best version of themselves and to achieve everything that they want to be successful in. Think about how they are not two separate ideas. They are part of the same thing. You love that child, you want the best for them, and a lot of that is going to involve them growing and becoming a better version of themselves as they progress through life. You want your child to work hard and to achieve and to be a good human being and be the best version of themselves that they can be for themselves, for their own good, because it's going to make their life better. You want to make sure that they know that they have your support. You will always be there. You will always love them. And this means that, some days with your kid, you will have to get them out of bed when they are too tired to get out of bed, or you're going to have to allow them to learn a lesson the hard way. But it also means that when they inevitably fail at something, you are there to tell them that you love them regardless, and that failure doesn't define them. It is their efforts that define them. You would want your child to know and to properly understand that their performance in life is not what makes them worthy of love and worthy of kindness. Loving a child is not, letting them have all of the sweets and all of the money and spoiling them and going and doing whatever they want. That's not the best thing for your child. The best thing is often routine and discipline and all these boring things that are also so important in our own lives. And being able to see ourselves as somebody who we have to take responsibility for is such a skill. When you think about it as an external person, like as a child or as just a friend, someone who you want the best for, it's very, very easy to do. You can support them, you can tell them that you love them, but when it comes to yourself, it's so much harder because it's a very difficult relationship to work on, because there are no secrets. You can have no secrets with yourself, and that can make it quite a tricky concept to grasp. I definitely from time to time fall into the pattern of treating myself like an army officer shouting at a soldier. And the problem with this is that it is incredibly effective. I work very hard when I'm being horrible to myself, but I only work hard for a little while because I'll burn out and I'll get tired. And it's not a sustainable way of making progress. If I try to become a better version of myself purely because I don't think I'm good enough as I am, then I'm really going to struggle. But if I try and become a better version of myself because I love myself and I want the best for myself, then that is something that is actually sustainable. That is something that is going to carry me through. If I keep on thinking about how I deserve to be someone who has the benefit of having worked hard for all this time. I feel like I'm at a point now where I just want the best for myself, and it's being able to define what the best is. The best for me isn't lions and cake, although it feels great. The best for me is sticking to the decisions that I've already made, sticking to the promises that I've made to myself, even though it's much more fun to eat pastry and sleep. So after this video, what I'd like you to do is spend a moment just thinking to yourself, if I treated myself like somebody who I loved, that I was responsible for, what would I be doing differently? Maybe you would get up earlier or work harder or go out of your comfort zone a little bit more, or maybe you would make more time to relax or more time to socialize. It's about thinking about what you need much more objectively than in this sort of emotion and feeling fueled haze that we often find ourselves in. And like all relationships, your relationship with yourself requires maintenance, it requires time and objective thought, but it is possible to be content with who you are, to accept yourself and to love yourself and to still strive for more. If you love somebody, you want the best for them, and it's the same with your relationship with yourself, even though it can be difficult to see that through the crap of life every now and again. Things build up, stresses build up, anxieties build up, and it can be difficult to see things in that way. So I hope that made some sense. Anyway, I found this particular topic a little bit difficult to put into words. So if you have any questions about anything, please leave them in the comments. But I hope that this helps someone out there anyway. And thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the comments, and I will see you in my next video also. I hope you're doing well. Goodbye.
Your position, heartfelt, social condition, not bad, but I have it any other way. Day and night, it's not the same as being wrong, right? There is truly grace, but sometimes the sanity is easy and some things are never